Hi everyone, it's Sonia McDonald here, and I wanted to jump on a live today because I recently saw through the Chief Executive Women that the data is showing currently we're going slightly backwards with women in CEO roles. Be interesting to see the data around women in leadership overall, actually, as a nation and as a globe. I have been doing a little bit of research around it. We're making some headway in some areas and we're not making headway in others, and we're going backwards in others as well. So I thought I'd jump on and go, why do we still have a women in leadership issue? Now, I've been living and breathing the leadership space now for 30 years. I've had Leadership HQ now for 17 years, and we've partnered with hundreds of organizations and teams, thousands and thousands of leaders around building great leaders and great humans. And we still deliver awesome women in leadership programs, and we're still questioned today around, why are you delivering women in leadership programs? Because we need more women in leadership. It makes sense. It makes business sense. There's so much research and data around having so many more women in business, so many more women sitting at the table. We're still seeing women sitting on the bench. They're not stepping in. They're not stepping up. They're not starting up. And for a woman that's set up a business and also is a mum, which is the most important leadership role, a single mum, a full-time single mum, and also is a woman that's in leadership, I can tell you now, it breaks my heart when I'm still seeing the data, I'm still seeing the research, I'm still experiencing an issue with not having enough women in our leadership programs. So we need to break this. We need to collectively, we can do it together, and as much as I am, climbing the hill to make a change, and there's little bumps along the way, if we do it collectively, pushing up the hill together, we're going to be able to break the barrier. We're able to climb the hill, and we're going to see more women represented at the table and more women in business. One of the keys that I think is an issue, and there's several, and I know it's systemic, and I won't be able to cover everything, and I won't be able to fix and everything, not alone, but collectively we will be able to do some great leadership work together. Is women are just not putting their hand up. They're not believing in themselves. And you know what, for someone that's a woman in business and that has had lots of knocks and lots of successes, and also being a woman in leadership, I totally get it. The imposter syndrome is real. That self-belief, that self-confidence, really understanding your self-worth, advocating for yourself, having a voice, particularly when you're in an environment when there's so many men. And most of the work I do is in construction and engineering and mining and very male-dominated industries. And it's sometimes really challenging to speak up and have a voice when you're surrounded by so many people that have got those strong personalities who are incredibly assertive, because it is. The thing is, I know it is, but it's going to take courage. And if you're out there and you are being brave and courageous and using your voice and believing in yourself, and if you're going to be a role model, we can do this together. Women need to put their hand up. I really, really implore you to put your hand up. Please go for leadership opportunities, even if you only tick 10 out, like 7 out of the 10 boxes. Doesn't matter. Like, go for it. Like, you'll go for the opportunity. You'll learn something. Speak up and say, I want to go on that leadership program. I want a leadership coach. Start to focus on self-development. I really want you to advocate for yourself. And if someone thinks that you're speaking up too much, just go, you know what? This is me. Like, own it. Like, if you've got something to say, own it. If you want to go for that opportunity or that promotion, own it. Go for it. I still see that we have a confidence issue in women. And then when you see confident women, we tend to want to squash them down. And I'm saying men and women want to squash women down that are confident. You know what? I love that I'm courageous. I'm not confident 24/7, but I am really courageous. And I want you to embrace courage. Even if you don't have the confidence, embrace courage and think about the two and think about how can you be more courageous. I'm going to share some tips and great books. I'm a huge, like, this is, you're only seeing part of my library. Start to look at Fear Setting by Tim Ferriss. Start to look at How to Be a Badass book. Mel Robbins has got some great stuff. Start to build your courage muscle. Think about what you're scared of. Like, I was scared of failing. Hence, when I wanted to start Leadership HQ 17 years ago, and I started it from a blog, I was like, my gosh, if I don't do this, how's this going to impact me in the future if I don't overcome the fear of what happens if I fail at Leadership HQ? What happens? And I absolutely have failed. But I knew that now reframing the failure as a learning has been amazing. So I embrace the fear. I understand the benefits. I understand if I let the fear overcome me, and if I don't do it because of the fear, what is going to be the cost to me? What's going to be the cost to my daughter? I need to be that role model for her or for other women. So think about how you can be a role model for other women, how you can be a role model for yourself. Because when you get to 90 years old, aren't you going to look back at yourself and go, I'm so proud of myself? And they're the two people I care about. My 8-year-old self and my 80-year-old self, or my 9-year-old self or my 90-year-old self. That little girl, that little Sonia when she's 8 or 9, I want her to look at me today and go, I'm super proud of you, of who you've become and what you're advocating for. And I want my 80 or 90-year-old self, I'm hoping 9-year-old, to look back on her and go, I'm so proud of you. I want to live a life of courage. And I think a lot of women I don't want to be courageous. I think that's one issue. And I think that you can absolutely be more courageous in your life and your leadership. You just have to step into it. It just takes one step, right? One little goal, tiny tweaks, big actions. I wrote about in my book, First Comes Courage and Just Rocket, about confidence. Like, you can grow this muscle, the courage muscle. All right, what's some other things I'd highly recommend? Why we have women in leadership issue. I also think women are doing way too much and we expect too much of ourselves. I remember once my daughter was little and she came home and she brought home from Movie World like this Wonder Woman coat, like cape. And she was like, Mom, I think you think you're a superhero. And I was like, oh my gosh, is that how you? And I was like, that's really cool that you see me like that, but maybe I'm expecting too much of myself. And it is, I think women kind of go, can I have it all? And I want to do it all. And we can. I just definitely think we can't do it all at once. I think it's about prioritizing ourselves as well. I think we spend so much time taking care of others, learning to say no. I think we say sorry way too much. I'm so good at saying no. I'm so good at saying, like, I really don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be doing that. I need to look at my energy buckets. I need to focus on self-care, self-compassion, self-kindness. I do a lot of affirmations, visualizations, journaling. I'm now starting to paint. I think it's really important that you do what brings you joy and brings you happiness. And I get it. Like, I'm a full-time solo mom with a business and lots of different balls in the air. But I go, these are my energy buckets, my self-care, my daughter, my business, and I try and fit some other things in, but I focus on the rocks. So, and I think it also, women need to ask for help. I think we're so like, okay, I've got this, like, I can do this, like, and I don't know what it is, right? I don't know if it's ingrained in our DNA that we're so stoic that, if we think about the ancient times, we were doing everything. We were taking care of the kids and we were cooking and cleaning and protecting our children. And, and I think today, are we doing too much? Are we expecting too much of ourselves? Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. I'm also overcoming the flu because I'm doing too much. And that's one of the reasons why I think we have a women in leadership issue, is that we're putting too much pressure on ourselves. We're doing too much. And therefore, because we're doing too much, we're like, how can we fit in sitting at the table or a leadership role, a more executive role. How am I going to fit in doing everything? It's like, you know what? Everything doesn't have to be perfect. If you've got dreams and goals, go for it. Absolutely ask for help. This is one of the reasons why we started the Leadership Collective and why I run women in leadership programs and groups, because we want women to connect. We want to serve. We want to help each other. So build your courage muscle and do that through thinking about your fears, overcoming your fears, self-development, putting your hand up, speaking up, not giving a fuck what anyone thinks, going for what you want, owning who you are, staying true to yourself, right? I think that's so important. Practice self-kindness, self-compassion, right? Also, I think that we need to be putting our hands up. Absolutely. We need to be stepping up more. We need to be asking for help. I think we're not stepping up and we're not starting the businesses or stepping into leadership roles because it's like, how am I supposed to do it all? If I want to have children one day, how am I supposed to navigate a career in children? Do it. You can do it. You can actually navigate it. Find a partner that's going to help you. I think that's really important as well. And if you don't have a partner like myself, surround yourself with a great tribe that will help you as well. We need more women in leadership. And I think it is because we need more women, because we do bring a different mindset, a different style. I'm all about the power of the mix. We also need everyone to support women. And I'm not talking about the men out there. Obviously, you play a huge part in this. I'm talking about women. I'm talking about women supporting more women, and advocating and championing more women. I'm talking about the men also sponsoring women, having sponsorship programs. Also thinking about how, as an organization, if you are a leader or a CEO and executive in an organization, how can you provide policies and processes and systems that offer flexibility and hybrid working for women and all genders and everybody, but in particular for women. I knew when I was actually, when I first became a full-time solo mum, it was really challenging for me to have that career where I had to be in the office from like 8 till 6 p.m. It was just so challenging. And gosh, and it was a long time ago, and I'm glad there's more flexibility today. But I absolutely think we'd have more women in leadership if we offered more flexible working arrangements and also supported them and supported their growth and tapped them on the shoulder as well for leadership positions. So I thought I'd jump on because it kind of made me really sad when I saw the data come out that we're going slightly backwards with women in CEO roles. And I think the only way we can go around that, or we can go about it right, is it starts with us. And if you want to be a CEO, or if you want to be in a leadership role, and remember, leadership isn't a role, it is an attitude, it's a mindset. But if you're wanting to go for those traditional leadership roles and positions, and I would implore you to go for them. And I'd love to help you. So please reach out to myself or the team at Leadership HQ at the Leadership Collective. It starts with you, and it starts with us, and it starts with us all helping as many women as we can see leadership as part of their career, see sitting at the table as part of their career. And it starts with them believing in themselves. It starts with you believing in yourself. Like, one of the things I love to do, sit down, write down all your strengths, all your achievements. Sit down and think about, what do you really want for your career in your life? Start to manifest it. I love doing manifestation. I teach and coach all the women that I work with around manifestation, and I've seen the difference it makes. Get the book, The Source, around manifestation. There's another book around 7 steps to manifestation. Start to manifest your leadership career. If you want to find out more about how you can do that, please reach out to me. I'd love to help you with that, because I've got my methods and my steps and structure around how to manifest a great leadership career for you. Because if we're seeing more women in leadership, imagine our organizations, our states, our countries, our communities. Imagine the difference it'll make to our world if we see more women in leadership. So I think it does start with us. And I think that, again, there's a lot more to this. I think it's more of a systemic issue. But if there's things that we can do in terms of our circle of control and influence around us and how we can take ownership of our career and our leadership, then we won't have as big an issue that we do. So it starts with you. It starts with us. It starts with the woman sitting next to you. It starts with your sister. It starts with your daughter. It starts with your friend. It starts with anyone around you that you would love to see in a leadership position. Advocate for them. And if it's you, start advocating for yourself. Because we need to champion, we need to get over this women in leadership issue. And it starts with you and it starts with me, right? And together we can actually make a difference. We can climb this mountain, and it's going to be such a great view when we get to the top, but we have to do it together. We have to lift everyone else up the mountain, right? And it starts with us. And I want to help you on top of that mountain. I want to help you in your career and your life so we can see more awesome and incredible and inspiring and worthy women like you in leadership roles. So please reach out to the team if we can help, all right? And happy to support you any way we can to get you sitting at that table and off the bench. So we have more future women as CEOs. We have more women as CEOs and women as executives. Thanks for listening, and I hope this has inspired you today. Remember to stay kind and stay courageous.